Good evening, everyone. My name is Drew Murray. I am the chairman of the Philadelphia Crosstown Coalition. Thank you. This forum is part of the Lenfest Institute for Journalism, Every Voice, Every Vote initiative, presented by the Philadelphia Crosstown Coalition in partnership with two local civic organizations, Center City Residents Association, which is where you're sitting, and the Logan Square Neighborhood Association. The Philadelphia Crosstown Coalition, if you've never heard of it, is a coalition of neighborhood associations or RCOs all over the city of Philadelphia. RCOs and neighborhood associations play a critical role in zoning and other aspects of the city of Philadelphia. Tonight's forum will specifically address public safety concerns. The goal is to provide you, the audience, an apples-to-apples comparison of the candidates for mayor. The Crosstown Coalition criteria for inclusion has been based on campaign funds available at the end of December 2022. So now I want to introduce our moderator, the famous Chris Brennan, a political journalist for the Philadelphia Inquirer.
Anyone who saw last night's televised debate knows Democratic primaries get a little chippy right around now. That's not uncommon in a competitive race with 5 weeks to go.
Gun violence and violence in the city is the biggest topic, the one that's most on people's minds. I'm looking forward to getting into topics like returning citizens and workforce development, and I think I could share a more detailed vision for the future.
What I will do is have goals and metrics so that if we give money to an organization and they have the goal of reducing gun violence in their 10-block radius by 15% in 1 year, then we have to make sure that they are held to that. And if they don't do it, then we shouldn't be funding that anymore. And if they're doing it, and they're doing it well, then we should put more money and scale that up. And that's the type of accountability that I will bring to the mayor's office. What I'll do for Kensington, and I put out an opioid crisis plan, which details both the law enforcement component to break open the open-air drug market, and also what we need to do from the city perspective to provide the care that those suffering from substance use disorder need. What I've heard over and over again, that someone is ready to get off drugs, but is told they have to wait 3 weeks for a placement. That's unacceptable. As mayor, I'll create rapid intake so that people can get services when they need it. We're spending that much money, we have to do things better.
So I don't actually think we're going to be able to scold our way out of one of the biggest drug crises in our entire city. Thank you, Captain Obvious. We all know that the situation around Kensington is devastating. People should not be using and dying on street corners in front of young people. And third, I want an absolute all-hands-on-deck approach towards making sure our young people are safe in communities where they should never ever witness the kinds of things that they do. So that's guaranteed and supported transportation and supported services all within our schools.
Yeah, but you did none of that while you're in power.
You're actually speaking during Rebecca Reinhardt's
We did do a number of that while we were in power.
Let's stick to the questions, please. Do you plan to clamp down on open drug use, including marijuana smoking in public places where our children are exposed to it, including on SEPTA properties? The question is, do you plan to clamp down on open drug use, including marijuana smoking in public places?
But that was decriminalized.
Cracking down on the use of it is not criminalizing it. It is saying that yes, you can smoke marijuana, but you have to be a certain amount of feet away from a school, or away from a daycare, or away from a public transportation unit. Let's be who we are and answer the questions, and this one was clear.
I think some people find their way out of poverty with a job. Other people find their way out of poverty and support their family with entrepreneurship. And I'm an entrepreneur myself, and my family, we're immigrants here. And I very much relate to immigrants and small businesses, and I would be the type of mayor that's very interested in helping them, open small businesses, grow their small businesses, and provide resources to help them. Well, we've hired thousands of returning citizens, often their first job. We have at least 500 active right now. A lot of them have worked their way into management, and we have a very, very good track record, like 98% don't return to the criminal justice system.
The mayor has the Department of Behavioral Health, which spends over $1 billion a year. We have homeless services, which is over $100 million. We have public health, over $200 million. What we need to do is bring those departments together, and that's what I'll do as mayor, to provide the services that our kids and teenagers need. What I will do is make sure that there's changes to the operating departments, behavioral health, I just mentioned the $1 billion a year. That needs scrutiny in terms of where that money is going, and it needs to reach the people. We need housing for homeless youth and young adults to make sure that they get support that they need.
Do you believe that the privately financed Gun Violence Coordination Center should take over the city's efforts to deploy community-based intervention programs designed to eliminate gun violence?
I don't believe this is a yes/no. I think that as mayor, I would lead a strong effort in coordination with private nonprofit efforts on gun violence.
And my clarification would be that the issue is about taking over. This needs to be a partnership. We need expansion of what we're doing.
The money that was spent was like $200 million. And it seemed a lot of it was political and not related to gun violence. If we had a contractor like this nonprofit doing it for us, we'd cancel their contract if they did what we did. So maybe we'd be better off taking it out of our own hands and having someone who will follow the rules and make sure that all of the interventions and all the monies are actually improving gun violence.
It's not just about outsourcing contracts, but it's also holding people accountable. The city has millions of contracts that we outsource, and we have contracts, but we also have to hold those actors accountable and vendors accountable and do the job that we need, because these are our tax dollars that we're using.
I believe this is a public interest issue. It has to have public accountability. What we're doing here, you get to account from us every 4 years to get a new mayor, to vote for a new mayor, that type of thing. And so I don't think it should go to a private entity. Of course, we need their help. We should be efficient with them, but there has to be a public accountability.
It's intergovernmental, and it's every branch of government along with the nonprofit and philanthropic communities, all partners working together, rowing in the same direction.
I put in a resolution in council asking the mayor over a year ago to engage our academic institutions like St. Joe's, Temple, Drexel, Penn, and all the other ones to analyze the gun violence $200 million of spending to tell us what's saving lives and what is not saving lives. And we still haven't done it.